wildlife, what not and what else. So these kind of stuff when you go through, we get to know about how we can imagine or what are the things people are doing around. So few things. So there are 1,605 experiments. I think there will be categories. So this is called a squeak drop. I had something earlier in the it's called a squeak drop. Is there anything to search? I'm not sure. So remember this link, and later I'll share you all these links in text or kind of stuff. So this is experiments with Google.com, experiments with Google.com and Google Labs. So a lot of curious stuff which are already there. You can just use them. We'll see. One is passage of water. So here, this is one experiment which tells about the availability of fresh water from satellite images. So this is one sample I took. And then I have another experiment where they have collected few thousand chippings of the birds, the recordings of the chippings of the bird, and we'll be having the picture of the bird and we click it into chip. And we have a few UNESCO sites, these pyramids, Egyptian pyramids and kind of archaeological. They have made all these things available as AI experiments. Together with AR and VR as well. Okay, so the first thing I am just show here. Fine, this is one thing I want to show about. So the next thing which I wanted to show here is again a LinkedIn post. These are the from the student perspective, not limited to student perspective. So if you are able to do any of these, one of these portfolios, still I just make it. Now it's visible. So the thing is that you can take any of portfolio and do it of your own and put it in your resume. That will add you more competitive advantage. So one is the RAG chatbot, and a PDF assistant, or a code reviewer, text to SQL agent, or a data analyst, a powered web scraper. Here and there I will talk about the limitations. So because later I am just going to talk about MCP. The limitation here with these agents and any kind of stuff is that the existing web it doesn't support APIs for fetching the contents for security reasons for that. That's a very limiting stuff. So for that I have to do scraping. You have to follow me. So that is one limitation. So and if you want to get the videos, you have to get the audios from the sites. That's again a limitation. For that only they go for MCPs. Later we come to the MCPs. Now, I want to make a simpler understanding or analogy of all these stuff which was talked. Okay, we'll start with LLMs. So, you say there is a layman, right? You want to make him understand what is a layman. Now, what is LLM to a layman? I will make him understand what is an LLM. For us, it's very simple, right? What is ChatGPT or Gemini or it's an LLM? What it does, you question something to them, you give a prompt to it, it gets you the result. That's it. That's an LLM. We have to say how this LLM works. What is the science inside this LLM? It's exactly, the thing is that, like how humans search information, or how humans get knowledge, how humans build the knowledge and retain and map with other stuffs. Yes? Following me on. So, a curious point I wanted to tell about to everyone is that, like, it will be very simple, but you are not taught in that particular way. Now, is there any person who is taught to learn his mother tongue? Did anyone teach you your mother tongue? So how do you learn? Exactly. We watch, we hear, and we start, talking. Earlier days, you see kids, they will not be good with grammars. Yeah, they will be just like tumbling. And they rectify. The same thing here also. What's an LLM? Is a tokenizer. Anything which you give as a prompt, right? This is when you can say that there is a, see, here is a box, right? Here is a computer, what let's say. You ask anything, it just goes and looks for something, so it learns from the stuff around in the internet and kind of stuff and gets you the result for it. Yes, yes or no? Is that an LLM or not? For us, we are very clear with search engine, right? Search, the modified form of a search engine is LLM, agreed? Next generation search engine is your LLM. Fine. Will that be? So, this will be my objective. Anything and everything which we study or which we hear, it should be simplified. It should be very, very simplified. So, the very, very fundamental stuff I've struggled a lot to understand in my days of learning in college was one term that's called as abstraction. I'll tell you, but any of the kind of these gatherings I used to tell is this word called as abstraction. Everyone has heard the word abstraction, right? There you heard in OOPS. In OOPS we have heard this word called as abstraction. It took me some few years for me to understand this abstraction very clearly, but it is very simple. It's very, very, very simple. But none of them has told me in the right way what it is. Now tell me what is abstraction. Very simple. You've seen mimicries. You've seen mimics. What is mimicking? You see a person talking this way or walking this way or doing something. You replicate it. Right? Or we call it as Xerox. There is something, you make a copy of it. Yes? This is the fundamental of all innovation. This is the very fundamental of all innovation. Say, airplanes, ships, how they were built. Airplane was inspired by birds. Ship was inspired by the water living creatures, fishes. This A is inspired by the human brain. But the problem here is that it doesn't have the consciousness. We are again doing a very, very risky experiment. Very risky experiment. But we always, all these cases, will talk only look into the positive sides, high sides of it. We don't look about the risks of it. But that is again to be addressed. Hallucination. Hallucination is the greatest stuff. That's the thing with all these AI stuff. Recently, I just forgot to clip it. There is one lawyer who was arguing in a court for a case and was citing a Supreme Court judgment. And everyone was looking for the judgment. The judgment was not there in the law book. And that was created by an LLM. Hallucinated by LLM. So here and there I want to touch upon these particular points. I don't mean to say make them scary again. Ethical use. Anywhere and everywhere. Right? So now we look into the particular perspective. I strongly advocate open source. Open source AI for that. Because here is where that will grow. All the corporates, all the companies limit creativity by making proprietary stuff. So the idea of open source is the thing is that like let live, flourish, put all things open. That will grow. That will remain for centuries. That will remain for ages. That will bring goodness for by and large of a huge society. So that is the fundamental stuff. So abstraction is one thing, is that like what is an object in object-oriented programming is, you are telling about this thing, right? What are you telling about? That is a physical processor. What are you doing? I throw away the physical processor, I make a code which does the same functionality as a processor. That's mimic. That's abstraction. That's there with every invention. But we guys talk it flabbergast and panic and be very scholarly and kind of nothing. Make it simple. Keep it simple and smart. That's really the advantage of make to reach the by and the large. So here AI data analyst, AI about web scraper. So I will stop here because I have lot of stuff which I wanted to do, but I am limited by certain stuff. So I wanted to do something with philosophy and that kind of stuff. That contents are available in the website, but I am not able to fetch it. I don't have APIs. I have to scrape it. Just again, the one particular thing is there. And LLMs in regional language or multilingual or regional language LLMs. LLMs for regional language will be a very classical language will be very tricky. NLP more specifically. I was asking a question that like is that like what will be the future? You see, when Apple or Steve Jobs came to the idea of smartphone, he replaced the buttons with touches. Now this touch is going to go away. Everything will be voice. How do you agree about that? Do you agree? So we perceive, we see, we predict, we forecast. That will happen. Now I have an animation. I'll search it and show it to you. It's a very fantastic animation which tells about the evolution of the technology. It will be very fantastic. I'll show you the story in a little. Like we'll be having a table, a work table, where you'll be having a dictionary, you'll be having a map, you'll be having a Wikipedia, and you'll be having an organizer, you'll be having a reminder, you'll be having a newspaper, you'll be having an audio system, you'll be having a television. All this stuff goes into your smartphone. And all this stuff is going to go into your goggle. In next generation AR and VR, they are trying to go that particular way. But it's very hard to live away with the smartphone. Maybe. If at all 5G goes to 6G, 6G goes to 7G, data are very fast, everything is there, and then I can go to AR and VR and I have my AR goggles and I have my everything. I will be having virtual space, this, that, and all AI kind of stuff, everything will be there. So, document question answer system, image search engine, AI meeting note taking. It's very important. We do a conversation, we have a meeting. So this AI should make a note of it. Few commercial versions are available, don't wait. There will be some open source models that will be available in Git or Hugging Faces. Take it, customize it. Or simply duplicate it. Well and good. So this AI meeting note taking, multi-agent system, AI resume scanner. HRs are nowadays using AI for resume scanning. And LLM fine-tuning is very important because billions of models are already available. Billions and billions of models are already available. But how to customize it to your requirement is one thing. And AI content generated stock market prediction. So algorithmic trading, we call it as algorithmic trading. That is one profile which you can try it out. And RAG chatbot and these are the 14 portfolio projects which I think that you can try out. You can try it. So now I stop here and go to Hugging Faces and briefly explain about Hugging Faces because it's amazing to me to see that you have not seen it. You have not heard it. I just introduce you and then like you try to explore it, right? HuggingFace.co. This is exactly how many of you using Gaggle? Use Gaggle, right? Think this to be another form of an AI Gaggle, and relate this to be a Git, much like a Git. So, what is the purpose of the repositories or the data sets? What is the purpose? So, I do some stuff, right? I do a stuff. I'm a bit magnanimous, right? I have a concern that if I give it to somebody and that few others can contribute, then that will grow. Or we call it as CVS, right? Concurrent versioning system. What is concurrent versioning system? In software development, I have version 1, and then I go to version 2, and then to version 3, and then there will be different teams in different locations. Everyone wants to have a central repository. So that is where Git has developed. So the one thing here, every now and then I used to advocate, I used to beg to all those who are aspirants in developing AI is, whatever the thing you do, don't make it to monetize, be liberal and make it as an open source. If that particular reason, if Tim Berners-Lee, who was the inventor of World Wide Web, if he has patented the World Wide Web with the HTTP protocol, he will be the billionaire on the earth. He will be the trillionaire on the earth, not Elon Musk. So here is where the ideology of open source is that, like, for any technology to be accessible and affordable to an educator and a researcher. I'm really concerned and bothered about this particular bottleneck that I don't get GPU. Everywhere tokens exist, Then how can I do my experiments? I cannot afford. Resource constraint. Everywhere I say, I started with internet age, I don't need bandwidth. When bandwidth was surplus, you need infrastructure, cloud game, and cloud also I was not able to afford. Then that gone. Now this AI is coming out, I don't get tokens. It's again a race of the capitalist versus the community, or the society. Okay, don't think I'm against the capitalist society, but this is what is being. So here, this is the platform where the machine learning community collaborates with models, datasets, and applications. You have models, datasets, spaces. You can take the models and you can customize and you can run them in the spaces. Right? So HuggingFaces.co, it started with an NLP project from France, I think so, and I have developed a repository of all the models. The billions and billions of models are available. So you can make a note of this. HuggingFaces.co. Right? HuggingFace.co, sorry. HuggingFace.co. So there are lots and lots of models. So you can search on these tasks. Mostly text generation, image to text, image to image, text to image. They have tasks, libraries, language, licenses, models. These are billions and billions of models with parameters. This is much like Git, similar to Git. I can call it as a model repository. Model spaces repository. Fine. So my humble request here is that try to use this notebook together. And again, I want to tell you the trick behind this, all these companies, Google, Amazon, and all these SpaceX, all these companies. For that, I'll just come with the story. What is the story? Is that what is the working principle of bank? We have our money. We want to keep our money with the bank. To keep our money with the bank, we need to pay for the bank. That's it, right? All these companies, what they do is, this Google is a very fantastic company that we call as FANG, right? F-A-N-G. Facebook, Apple, Meta, and then Google. So these four companies rule the entire world. And two cautions I want to put you here is that anything and everything we do with these four companies, all the data will be made a copy and will be owned or can be used by US government. That's there in the agreement. Anything and everything. Okay. Now, I just recall my days when we started using, earlier we were using Yahoo Mail. All together suddenly came this Google. This guy gave 15 GB of data, space. He told, have your mails, unlimited mails. I give you space, put all your files. Then I give you space, put all your videos, put all your photos. Everyone was happy, amazed. They didn't know the trap began. He was creating a country. He was creating a global snapshot of the entire world, of the people, digitizing their data, their personal data, this, that, everything is there. You've been watching YouTube, right? In YouTube, we have these captions. Captions can be generated from multilingual. 110 languages, they'll just able to do the caption generation, right? It's a very, very huge, humongous project. To do that, you need something called as a corpus. One word in English, equivalent meaning in 120 languages. If you want to create that, you want to have a corpus. Till now, Google owns the world's largest corpus for an area. How they are built, we have got to do. We are not acknowledged, and we still pay for it. And one more shocking thing I wanted to tell you here is that all the ISPs, or the data providers, or the voice providers, telephone companies and ISP providers, if they can able to give the voice and data for free, still they will be making 1/2 of their profit. I'll repeat it again. Who are all the other companies? ATAL, Jio, few companies, 4 or 4. These are BSNL kind of things. Take any word, any company, any country, any telecom provider. My point is that if they want to give data and voice for free for all customers, still they will be making crores and crores. How many of you disagree with me? You agree with me? How can they can just give you for free and make money? Advertisements. You give them free access to all your data. For that particular point, I want to put one particular star here is that for me, a person who doesn't use an Android person, he has only his privacy. No other person other than a person who is a native person, maybe Stone Age person or whatever you call it, like he is an adopt person. He is not connected, he is not communicating. He is the only left out person in the entire world whom this Google cannot track. All these Amazon, Google, all these companies steal data. The reason why SpaceX acquired Twitter is they want to have a huge customer base. They want their data. They want to know the patterns. Now, second limitation which I see with this AI adoption is You don't have data. Training data. You don't have training data. Now there are, I've heard, I've not went through this. Like, you can wear a camera, video camera. You should not have people, I don't have persons in your video, but you can record wherever you go, roam and all these things, and you can just upload your videos. They'll be giving per hour video or per minute, they're giving 200 rupees. So they're generating data to train the systems. So first bottleneck will be the scarcity of resource of model tuning data. Second thing is the dearth of data. Training data. If you want to do anything with healthcare, you don't have data. For that particular reason, the greatest concern which I have here is that, like, possibilities are endless, but we don't have the implements. We don't have the what we call the resource.